So dear viewers, welcome back to your favorite channel, Yolendo TV, and this is 25th of August 2022, and I'm glad to be back with some good news for you. Like I said, we always look for information so that we can have them available to you for your own consumption. So I won't be talking about recaps because I was advised not to do that because one of the viewers said that it takes a lot of time to always repeat, so I'm going to avoid that. I'm also going to share this idea of tweets, giving tweets, because again, I was advised that it takes time. So I might have to slot that segment at the end of the analysis. So dear ladies and gentlemen, before wasting a lot of time, I'd like us to go to Sylvanus Osoro. Sylvanus Osoro, by the way, is a DP, William Samoei Ruto's allied MP, and you saw previously during altercations after the handshake, whereby Sylvanus Osoro was one of those point men of William Samoei Ruto in the Kisii land. So the case at stake right now forced Sylvanus Osoro to rush to High Court. And the idea was simple: to have the High Court quash a certain law that gives the High Court mandate to declare a winner. Because the courts have, that gives the Supreme Court, not the High Court. The Supreme Court cannot, the High Court can't do that, cannot determine a winner. But the Supreme Court can. And the Supreme Court has powers that are vested in them that gives them total mandate to do a declaration, to order for a retally, to order to annul an election. So the Supreme Court has immense power. So I think that's the reason why MP Onsoro decided, no, this Supreme Court might overturn their winning. So he rushed to court. Remember, another person who rushed to Supreme Court is Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria is trying to bar Raila Amolo Odinga from presenting the case at the Supreme Court. That is a delay tactic. I think I see what Moses Kuria, the action of Moses Kuria, as being a delaying kind of tactic, or trying to make the courts overwhelmed with this case. But I think that is likely to be thrown out anytime soon. But our focus is on Onsoro. So ladies and gentlemen, before I go further on this Onsoro matter and the High Court, please, I'd like to welcome first-time viewers into the channel and actually urge you to subscribe to our channel. You can give us a notification, you can hit the notification bell so that every time we upload a video, you will always become the first person to get notified. So this is now the case. I'd like to give you the details, full details of this case. Now, Onsoro wanted the Supreme Court to be denied the right to declare president, and that only that right should be to nullify. I personally find this as being strange. Why would Onsoro rush to the court and ask the court, seek guidance, or rather try to force the Supreme Court to be denied the powers to declare a winner? So that entirely tells us something. Why is Onsoro afraid? Why is Onsoro afraid that Chief Justice Martha Koome might be forced to declare a winner? Because if you look at the case of Raila Amolo Odinga, the case of Raila Amolo Odinga is one targeted at Chebukati, two, and meant to give to allow the Supreme Court to, perhaps if he wins, if after the tally and everything, the determination is found that Raila won, that the court should automatically pronounce him as the winner for the 2022 general election, presidential general election. So Onsoro has rushed to the court and is seeking assistance on this. He rushed to High Court, and in specific reference was Justice Ogundi. And Justice Ogundi said, the Supreme Court shall have exclusive original jurisdiction to hear, determine disputes relating to the election of the office of the president. That means, from the ruling, that it is clear that it is the Supreme Court only that has jurisdiction to deal with issues related to presidential election. I think this is what Onsoro fears the most. If the powers that have been vested in the Supreme Court are anything to go by, then the Supreme Court can determine who the president-elect is, because the Supreme Court has those powers. The powers have been vested in that court. If you listen to a speech by William Samoei Ruto about 2 to 3 days ago, he made a point that is likely to suggest that he's actually asking the Supreme Court to be a little lenient on him. That was the interpretation of that statement that William Samoei Ruto made in that public rally, or rather public meeting. It was a meeting, not a rally as per se. So if you look at what William Samoei Ruto said, then you go back and look at what Abenassi said when he tried to talk about, the courts to having been. So looks like Kenya Kwanza is beginning to feel that these courts are no jokes, and the courts might decide to do things the opposite, to do things the way IEBC was supposed to do. And if everything is to go by, then I think Chebukati can be barred from assuming any public office if irregularities are found, and if the hacking and everything, those allegations as far as John Gidongo's affidavit is concerned, is anything to go by. And if the vote suppression that many people feel Chebukati subjected people to is believed to be true, then I think Chebukati will be in hot soup. So Onsoro rushed the court in a bid to want to force the court to undo that. It failed. So that means Kenya Kwanza is now fighting its own battle, and the battle is not going their way. Okay, though we know that the courts have very limited time, 14 days, and already from Monday, from Tuesday, the days are already being counted. Like Tuesday was the first day, Wednesday the second day, Thursday the third day, now Friday will be now. The time will not be adequate, and Justice Lenaola already said that in a previous gathering. So this is what Justice Ogudi said, and it was in specific reference to a certain cap within the law, the Constitution. So it says that an election, I'm reading for you, an election court may by order direct the commission to issue a certificate of election to a president, a member of parliament, or a member of a county assembly if upon recount of the ballots cast, the winner is apparent, and that winner is found not to have committed any electoral offense. Now, that is according to the existing law of the land of Kenya, that the Supreme Court can issue a directive that the winning be given to the person who won after a recount of the ballot papers, or after tally of those from 34As, 34Bs, and even the aggregate of 34C. The courts can make that declaration. So that is the reason why I think Kenya Kwanza is now beginning to see things are falling apart for them. They thought that by being given the certificate for the Form 34D, that was enough. Little did they know that the courts also have a mandate. And like I said in the previous analysis, Chief Justice Martha Koome told Chebukati that if you don't do things according to the law, I will nullify. And the justice ruling by none other than David Maraga also told the commission that we will still nullify if these things are repeated. So that 2017 and this year's Martha Koome's comments are now putting Kenya Kwanza in a very, very awkward position, because already the members of Kenya Kwanza are in a celebratory mood. You saw ANC leader Mudavadi already in his Twitter account. He changed the details, the descriptions to be prime cabinet secretary designate. That means he's already assuming that office, because that is what was promised to him, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. But what would happen if the courts decide to quash or to annul this winning? What will happen? The country will be subjected to another election mood, a re-election mood. So most of the time, if you look at my analysis, I always talk about things I project. I talked about a setup. My title in the previous analysis, some like 10 analysis, I talked about Chebukati setting up the country for a nullification. And if you look at the evidence that's been presented at the so far, you look at the various bodies like the human rights body, if you look at the dissenting commissioners, then you can easily tell that the country is headed for a re-election. Nullification is something that is looming. I don't know whether the courts will have time to do a retally. I don't know whether the 14 days period is enough, but Justice Lilaola said in one of his previous engagements that the time allocated is not enough and the parliamentarians should do something about that. But that was not fixed. At least they would have given them 21 days, so that 7 days is for collecting documents, and then the 14 days is now for handling the case, whereby they handle for 7 days, do a determination. Then the 7 days, if the determination is about a retally, then I think it can still be done. I don't know if at the end of 14 days, the court can say, now our verdict is that those papers need to be rechecked. I think it is still going to be possible. Or after our verdict, the courts have determined that those ballot papers need to be recounted, or we need to do a fresh election. I think the courts have that mandate, they can do it. We don't have to talk about that because we already talked about it in previous analysis. So, ladies and gentlemen, my closing remarks. Kenya Kwanza watulize boli. Sometimes, like Gideon Moi said previously, kutangulia sio kufika. William Samoei Ruto seems to have tanguliad, but that is not kufika. You can be ahead, but then I leapfrog you, you know. The president of the Republic of Kenya said, mzee anaweza kuja akapiga lap mbili na akapita. So what we are saying is that Kenya Kwanza should chill out. They should let the courts do their work. They cannot purport to want to change the constitution now so that the constitution can fit what they want. It's not possible. If they could twist IBC, it is not easy to twist the Supreme Court at this juncture. Perhaps that's the reason why MP Onsoro went to the High Court, so that the Supreme Court, the only thing they can do is to annul that election. So I think what MP Onsoro is trying to tell us is that Kenya Kwanza is ready for a nullification, but it's not ready for a declaration by the Supreme Court. President of the Supreme Court, who is Justice Koome. So the Kenya Kwanza is ready for a nullification, but not ready for a recount, not ready for a declaration. So that means they know what's going on, and they know that their illegal deeds will be unearthed in this determination. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me again to remind those people who haven't subscribed, please to subscribe to our channel. First-time viewers, specific, even regular viewers, and give us a like, you can hit the notification bell so that every time we upload videos, you will always become the first person to get notified. And once again, I'd like to say, be safe and be blessed. And once again, I'd like to say, bye-bye and see you later.